If my reports that I have are accurate, I understand that you've organized a Bollywood-style dance show and champagne party at your family's luxury Delhi hotel.
Of course. Yes. I mean, it's time to celebrate, isn't it? I've been doing, I have a nightclub called Kirisu all over India, which is in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. And we've been doing inclusive nights and LGBTQ nights and drag in India, and actually even giving opportunities to the transgender community for a while now. And so luckily there, and it's called See You Next Thursday, and it's always on a Thursday night. And the judgment has come out on a Thursday, so of course it's a giant celebration.
A giant celebration. The fact that the ruling was unanimous, what does that tell you?
That tells me that the Supreme Court is, kick ass. The Supreme Court is finally doing the correct thing. The Supreme Court has finally apologized to the wrongdoings to this community for so many years, over 70 years. We've had an opportunity to get rid of this colonial law for 70 years, and we're doing it today, finally. And I think that it just goes to show that this is an ushering of a new India, an equal India, just India. And I think the LGBTQ community in India, like the rest of the world, is too large to ignore.
Too large to
And that's what the
ignore.
Supreme Court is saying.
Too large to ignore. Nonetheless, you have religiously conservative people who are also making their voices heard in a country that's polarized more than in the past, even you might say. Are you certain that there's no going back?
There is no going back. I mean, the world's watching, and you have people from religious groups all across the world, even in countries where equal rights has been there for a while. You've got people that have polarized that and are still polarizing that all across the world. But I think that for every negative voice, there is a positive one. And today is a day of celebration and a day for us to actually rejoice the positivity that the Supreme Court has given finally, and also turned around and said that we are no longer fringe people, that we are no longer people that have to live in the shadows anymore, and that finally, I mean, you can't have something bigger than the Supreme Court and the Justice Malhotra turning around and saying that society and all of us need to actually apologize to the LGBTQ community. I think nothing gets bigger and more validating than that.
Keshav Suri, you talk about no longer living in the shadows. You yourself personally have been one of the campaign leaders helping to file that petition. Has being in the public eye, what's the reaction been like for you on a personal level?
To be honest, I have had there are a lot of people that came before me. This fight in India is not just since I got onto it, which is since my writ was filed in April. This fight is a 20-year-old fight. It's longer than that. They have NAS Foundation, people at grassroots levels who've really been, fighting to make sure that this day happens. I think that, I don't want to sound like a poor little rich boy, because honestly, the kind of discrimination that I have faced, which I'm still facing, especially in the corporate world, because in the corporate world, we sit and put a lot of unsaid rules and regulations on us where we say, don't rub it in our face and don't rub your sexuality on our face. But, I think that what I've done in India in the last 10 years is a sort of ushering in a new wave into corporate India. And today, because of the Supreme Court, we have actually now got a lot of companies that have said that they are supporting this cause. They have now gone and posted love for all. And so I feel validated today. I mean, I really feel that this is the India that I've always dreamed of, and I'm really a proud Indian today.
And what about gay marriage? When will we see gay marriage in India?
Hmm. Well, to be honest, I'm married. My husband's French. We got married on the 8th of June. this year, and I think that it's very unfair that in his country, in France, we're recognized, we're legalized, and it's not here. So I'm going to now fight for that. That's going to be my next step. When is it going to happen? I have a feeling it's going to be in less than 10 years, but one step at a time. Let's first decriminalize us. Let's at least get us to not be criminals and not have a law that sort of protects homophobia. Not have what was Section 377 doing? It was giving rise to a lot of people to have the power to discriminate, to have the power to extort, to have the power to be to use it against. It was also giving a lot of excuses for corporates to not run their inclusive and diverse programs, to not support the LGBTQ community. And I think that days gone. And tomorrow, yes, of course, equal rights have to come. I've been doing it in my company. I have like I said, more than 10 transgender people that work for me currently. I've helped in rehabilitation of 35 and above. I've created a whole drag culture in India in the last 2 years, where I've got now more than 35 drag queens across India. And I give Medicare policies to same-sex couples, to transgender employees, to adoption, to surrogacy. I think that all of that is going to trickle down, and eventually we are going to have, through the courts, a India like how the Lalit is right now.
Keshav Suri, Executive Director of the hotel chain, the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group. Congratulations and many thanks for speaking with us on France 24.